Good Friday. I hope you all have had a wonderful week, and I hope you're ready for a good weekend ahead. We do have some weather to be concerned about, especially for this evening and into the early overnight hours of our Friday night. The Storm Prediction Center has highlighted our region in the slight risk for severe weather. That's level 2 out of 5. So that's certainly nothing to ignore. It's still a low end risk overall. It's low but not zero. And so we certainly want to pay attention to things. Yesterday was a low but not zero risk as well. And East Tennessee had quite a bit of active weather. They had some wind damage, they had some large hail reports. Some flooding advisories were issued, and we could see a similar situation unfold across Middle Tennessee as we go through the evening hours of our Friday. So we'll talk more about that in just a moment. Looking at our Upper Cumberland Federal Credit Union weather headlines, it's a meteorologist marked weather aware evening. Now, I will say this, it is going to be a hot and humid day, and it now looks like there will be some isolated storms. In fact, I'm watching some isolated storms right now that have moved through Fentress County, moving over into Scott County. And then we got another isolated storm near Livingston this morning, and that will be moving toward you folks in Fentress County as we go through the morning hours. So these storms are not severe, and they're not expected to become severe. But it does remind us that there may be a chance for an isolated storm as we go through our Friday. And with it being as hot and humid as it is, we'll have to pay attention to those as well. Severe storms and flash flooding, much more possible this evening as a disturbance slides our way. A very vigorous disturbance with lots of cold air aloft, which could really increase instability, especially if we get as hot and humid as we're expecting to get this afternoon. Showers and much cooler for Saturday. You're going to notice a big difference between today and tomorrow, and then cooler and drier for Sunday through Tuesday before things start heating back up again. But yeah, we'll deal with that later. Friday evening's level of concern brought to us by Premier Generators. It is level 2. That does make it a meteorologist marked weather aware evening. And so we will be mindful of the weather as we make our evening plans. Clearview Closet and Blind brings us our 5-day forecast. And for today, that 70% chance for mainly evening showers and thunderstorms. But again, it's looking like we can't rule out an isolated storm as we go through our Friday. It's just going to be so hot and humid. Highs at least in the mid 80s. Some indications are we'll be closer to 87, 88, but I went optimistic and said 85. Mild tonight with lows in the low 60s before showers blow in on Saturday, and it turns much cooler. That northwest wind, we see a southwest wind today, but it shifts to northwest by Saturday, and that's going to make a big difference. Highs near 70. Some of us may not get out of the upper 60s. And then Sunday, look at that, high of 71 and a low of 43. Monday, high 73, 47. So those of you who've been waiting for some sunny fall days, that is definitely coming back again by Sunday into Tuesday. So Premier Generators bringing us our severe weather outlook. And again, low end risk for tornado, low end risk for hail. I may have to increase that hail risk. I'm monitoring that one a little more closely. Thunderstorm winds and then flash flooding. So main threat time frame, I had said 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. It now looks to me like it'll be the 6 p.m. to midnight time frame. And stay tuned for updates. It looks like we could have some activity ahead of the main batch of storms. That's why I had to bump it back to 6 p.m. But again, any storm that develops today, I would pay attention to, but it looks like the main threat time frame will come later on this evening. Weichert Realtors bringing us our extended threat outlook and monitoring a heat wave that may be building back in by, say, a week from today on into that next week. So, anything in the tropics could mess that up. So, and the tropics are becoming, active again. We do have a disturbance out in the Atlantic that will probably become a tropical depression or tropical storm by the end of this weekend. It's way out in the Atlantic, but it could be impacting the U.S. at some point. The middle to later part of next week. We'll have to monitor that very closely. It's too early to know for sure, but it definitely has the attention of folks on the East Coast, and even the Gulf folks need to keep an eye on this one. But the Hurricane Center is doing just that, so we'll pay attention to what they say in the coming days about that system. Bramble Travel bringing us our On This Day in History, September 5th, 1925. The temperature at Centerville, Alabama soars to 112. To establish a state record, listen to this, every reporting station in Alabama was 100 degrees or better that afternoon. That was a hot day. 1954, at 105 degrees, Nashville measures its highest temperature ever in September. And Crossville comes in at 99. 2017, Hurricane Irma becomes one of the most powerful hurricanes ever recorded in the Atlantic Basin, with winds of 185 miles per hour. Absolutely remarkable. Don't forget to download the Meteorologist Mark app. You can find it in your app store, Apple or Android. That way you get the updates as I push them out. They go straight to your phone. You can also follow the website and get email updates sent to your inbox there as well. Or just check back as often as you can, right? I'll keep you all updated today. I'll keep an eye on the weather situation. I'll let you know if our threats increase as we go through the day. And I'll keep you posted with anything that you need to know. You just keep it right here to Meteorologist Mark.